Greetings. Welcome to Little Discovery Corner. Happy Friday and happy August. I've got my Lantern Oracle deck out today. I think I'll do the card dealer shuffle. A little pressure on my chest and like my heart chakra, and also on my throat, so you could be feeling like having trouble with expressing your feelings. Oh, melting mask, there we go. You may feel like you're having trouble keeping up appearances. Oh, perspective came out again under here. Spirit self. Oh yeah, okay, this came out last time. I brought out these cards. Inner integration, okay. There is peace, equilibrium, and fulfillment, integrating the inner wild with the taming and tempering effect life has on us. Ooh, metamorphosis underneath. That aligns with the transformation card I pulled out the other day. Ooh. Circles. Clarity begins in the eye of the storm. Okay. It kind of reminds me of yesterday with the Devil card and the Eight of Wands. And under that came forgiveness, which I was talking about yesterday. Forgiving yourself, forgiving anyone who's wronged you, which, as I say, is not about the suspension of justice, not about excusing behavior. It's about letting go of the emotional baggage you're carrying with regard to the situation and the person. And just letting go. A children's book of my daughter's said, just let go of your hate. You don't have to show love. You just have to let go of your hate. And that's, and once it was put that way, the character was like, oh, okay. And then he found it a lot easier to wrap his head around the concept of forgiveness and let go of all his pent up anger and hurt and resentment, and trying to get his own father to act the way he wanted him to act. I mean, in the books, his own father was a terrible person, acted very toxic with him and everyone, and he just kept being stuck in a place of resentment, anger, and just like, oh, I hate that guy, keeping, as they demonstrated in How I Met Your Mother in one episode, keeping him in a pit in your mind. You can keep someone in a pit in your mind, but ultimately the only one in that pit is yourself. And it was a reference to Silence of the Lambs, in which the serial killer keeps his victims in a deep pit in the basement where they can't crawl out. And, you know, when you're feeling like very angry and resentful or any other emotions, jealousy, envy, you have that person like an imaginary deep dark pit in your mind. You're inflicting pain on them, but you're really just keeping yourself in that pit and keeping yourself stuck in that low emotional place. And then he goes on to learn the lesson that there's only one person who can let you out of that pit, and that's yourself. Okay, so we have melting mask. Allow your spirit self to shine through the many roles you fulfill. All right, so you may feel like you've had to wear a mask, if not in just recent history, perhaps most of your life. And your spirit self, your higher self, your soul, your conscience, your ethical, moral, conscious self deep within, who is aware of how you're really feeling inside, wants to come out. And I think that lines up with the pressure I feel in my heart space and my throat space. Inner integration, integrating the inner wild with the taming and tempering effect life has on us. Let me get the book. 40. We go through many phases and versions of ourselves throughout life. We explore different roles, terrains, experiences, and company. At each stage of human development, we are mostly physiologically and psychologically attuned to the archetypal consciousness of either the maiden, mother, guardian, or crone. Broadly speaking, each archetype is a life stage or cognitive window that shapes and contains the way we are capable of perceiving, processing, and engaging with life throughout that phase. Each facet or version of ourselves is in and of itself incomplete, wild, raw, and uncut, so to speak, especially upon entering into a new life phase. We learn to find our way and adjust as we go. This takes time. Experience and increasing maturity tame us as we slowly master each phase. Maiden, mother, guardian, and crone. Okay, you may not be a physical woman, but this is about balancing yourself out with your feminine energy. So we're going to let ourselves identify with these characters for now. Drawing this card is the crone's blessing. Okay, so it's the oldest, the wisest, most experienced. This may be a time for gaining much peace and appreciation from reviewing each stage of your life up until this point. During this period of self-reflection, journal the significant events, people, preoccupations, and epiphanies that stand out for you. Okay, you might want to stop and maybe this weekend, do a little journaling about what is hindsight 2020 for you regarding your recent and possibly distant past. Highlight all the traits that you love about each version and whether they seem to have faded. For example, the energy and wonder of your youth, the bold conviction of your teens, the openness, love, and idealism of your young adulthood, or the self-knowledge, confidence, and insight of the guardian. The featured crone offers to hold you in her serene consciousness while you imagine your spirit self as the light and your lifespan as a kaleidoscope. Doesn't matter which way you turn the knob, which colors arise, or how the patterns emerge and dissipate, it is always the spirit self that shines its brilliant light through. If the kaleidoscope of your life has ever been tampered with in ways that seem to block your light, look again. Your light has always illuminated and glistened through what clouded in. Should your light ever be tampered with in the future, always remember that your spirit self continues. It cannot be extinguished. Every color, experience, and facet of you is always present and available to be expressed, translated, and integrated through the kaleidoscope of your life and body. Integrate what you love and what continues to resonate from previous versions of yourself. Live the harmony of your wild through your tame. All right, as you get older, you're starting to take your lessons learned, feel a little wiser. Reflect on your past phases of your life. What were the best things about those? And, try to integrate that as going forward. Like, try to keep a little childlike wonder when you go on a walk and letting little flowers and critters catch your eye, or excitement of your youth. Like, try to bring in the convictions of like justice and ethics in your life, in your decisions, and in dealing with the world. From, say, teenhood, college, and young love, getting married, that idealism, that romance. Don't be afraid to look for that again and be open to that again. If, say, you were deeply hurt by, say, your first love and it kind of scarred you and kept you from trusting people. Clarity begins in the eye of the storm. I think I might look that one up too. Our thoughts, emotions, behaviors, and relationship patterns are potentially detrimentally circular when they remain unconscious. Without acknowledging that we do not know what we are doing or how to get different results, it seems as though the same disappointments, ruts, and detours keep happening to us. All right, it's about staying stuck on the hamster wheel. That you may feel like you're stuck on the same hamster wheel, but just emotional roller coaster with someone, or that you keep ending up in the same kind of relationship with a similar kind of person over and over, no matter how many times you get burned and you haven't paused to reflect. And why, for example, do you keep ending up in a relationship with a covert narcissist? You don't see it at first. It comes out only after you've locked in a commitment like marriage or moving in, and then you don't know what to do about it, and breaking free involves a whole lot of trauma and heartache and expense. What is it that you're looking for? What is it that attracts you to people like that? Could it be that the love bombing feeds something you haven't been able to feed to yourself? The validation, the emotional fulfillment, the love that that you need to be able to give yourself first so you can set a solid foundation, as I always like to talk about, and become more discerning with people's characters and whether or not they may be wearing a mask. If we do nothing different happens. We will only continue to reenact our default setting automatically. A life lived in circles inevitably limits what is possible for us. It can also be potentially harmful when toxic relationships, addiction, or financial dependence is involved. Awareness of how we perpetuate more of the same is necessary before we can consciously create an upward and outward spiral of life for ourselves. Although it can be painful and confronting to understand the dynamics that continue to trigger us, awareness is the doorway out of any roundabout we want to step off. To support you in this process, journal your responses to the following prompts. Where in your life do you feel stuck and not know what to do? Write out the inner dialogue or thoughts surrounding the areas of life that you answered that question with. Review what you just wrote and notice where there is a lack of logic. Highlight any incongruent thoughts and emotional processes that are at play. Make a note of the effects of them on you. See if you can unpack any existing conflicts and desire for clarity. Notice if there's a trajectory of any emotions that you typically cycle through. Yeah, what I was just mentioning. Notice any instances that send your confidence spiraling downward, and determine whether this negatively impacts your ability to break out of any particularly circular life patterns that you wish to be free of. List anything and everything that you can do about what seems to be preventing you from venturing beyond your revolving doors. Highlight what is presently propelling you forward, and brainstorm how you can increase its positive presence, influence, and effect in your life. Make a list of capable and appropriate people who can be called on for help and support as you venture beyond life as you have known it. Okay, let me add on. Oh, it's getting long, but maybe I'll just make this a long one. Let's see if the tarot gives us anything. 10 of Summer, emotionally fulfilling life with family and friends, raising children wisely, people you can trust. All right, I'll stick that over here. Reflecting on your habits and patterns, thinking about what is positive in your life that you want to foster and nurture can help lead you to that happy ending. 7 of Spring, be assertive. Don't back down from what you believe. Courageously stand up for yourself. All right, that fits in with this taking lessons learned from your life experiences, positive and negative. 7 of Autumn, have patience. Don't worry. Take time to rest and plan your next steps. A prudent investment of time or money. Okay. All right. Taking time to journal and answering some of those questions would be a prudent investment of time while you rest and learn how to discern and be assertive with any negative energies being directed at you, and protect yourself so you can move forward. Take lessons learned and move forward. Queen of Winter. Strong, patient, self-sufficient, and funny. Let go of people or things that no longer serve you. All right, fits right in with the circles. Okay, there we go. Now is the time for you to focus on career. Unmarried or divorced individual. Okay, you may be coming out of in light of all that, you may be coming out of a long-term committed relationship that you just realized was unhealthy for you. All right, let me see what Elemental Empath has to say. Breathe. Okay, that fits in right in with rest and take time out to reflect. Return to breath, calm the mind. Breath is life. All right, as I will say, meditating, breathing exercise, getting out to nature, taking some time out definitely helps you get with finding clarity. Repeating patterns. Oh my goodness. Awareness. What is the lesson? Break the cycle. All right, so we're talking about, and I definitely, when I've had to realize I've had a cycle, it definitely felt in my head, I was perceiving a literal hamster wheel that I had to step off. That like visual was definitely coming to me as I kept thinking about the situation I was in. My connection was keeping me stuck on a hamster wheel that was like kind of siphoning my nurturing energy, but I was being breadcrumbed in return. And that was the lesson I had to learn, was how to hold boundaries, what the boundaries I needed and how to enforce them. Mirror. World is a mirror. Notice patterns, clear blocks. Okay, that fits right in with everything we've been talking about. Expansion. Befriend the mind. Inner freedom. Expand consciousness. All right, that's your spirit self trying to talk to you and get you to learn and grow and mature. Grow it above and beyond your old circumstances. All right, maybe angel numbers to close out. Oh, that's too many. Speak your truth. Okay, that has to do with falling masks, your spirit self trying to break out, issues with expressing your feelings that I was talking about in the beginning. Your angels proclaim that the time has come to express something you didn't feel comfortable expressing before to yourself and others. Okay, fits right in. Can't make it up. This realization of self has been with you for a while now, and your angels are ready to create changes in your life to accommodate it. Reflect on what your future self would have to say to you at this moment. Okay, this fits right in with the crone. Reflecting on your phases of life, good things to be improved upon, lessons to be learned, including things the best parts of those phases that would be worth keeping. Declutter. Okay, create mental space. Your state of mind is a direct reflection of your physical space. Your angels are signaling to you that work needs to be done here. The time is right to declutter your space as a way to declutter the mind. Take inventory of the room you are currently in. Is there one thing you can clean, donate, store, recycle, or throw away? Okay, so I do this pretty regularly. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I do get rid of things I wish I hadn't. But overall, there's usually 9.5 times out of 10, there's a lot of stuff you could get rid of. And it just having too much stuff definitely weighs on your mind, your emotions, helps keeps your thoughts cluttered, which is not good for finding your way forward when you need clarity. Help incoming. It's all coming together now. The final step in receiving is to have an open mind. All you need in this moment, right now. Choose a centering pose, such as butterfly, child's pose, or easy seat, that promotes inner peace. Feel abundantly grateful that more is on its way to you in divine timing. Oh, sorry. So have patience. And this also makes me think of, brought up the book brought up any connections, trusted connections you do have that you can confide in and seek advice and be open-minded. Like if you feel yourself getting triggered to their responses when you ask them a question on advice, pull the reins on that. Tell yourself that's your ego getting defensive, and maybe they actually have some wise words that would be worth listening to and chewing on for a bit. Okay, this has gotten quite long, so I hope that has helped somebody out there today. I will see you next time.